Cat of Sweet Cat Magic. I'm sitting here on my porch as the sun's going down. It's so beautiful. Don't really get too much view of the sunset because I'm in the forest, but it's still very pretty. You can see the blue sky and the reflection of the window, which is very rare because we've been having a lot of rain. Anyway, this is, I guess, part 3 of But I Don't Want to Work with Prisoners. And this is the answer to the challenge question that Donald had asked me as far as, in all the years of my metaphysical study, what was the single most important thing that I had learned. And I'll have links for the first part of, about the situation of, about I don't want to work with prisoners and how the universe kind of intervened and changed my mind, and what a wonderful experience I had, and one of the great times of my life as a result. And then part 2 was about some of the working with Donald and some of the questions that specifically one question that he had asked me. And so this is the answer. I'm hoping that somebody had at least given me a video response, or even a comment, or just even if you didn't, I'll still post this because I just, it kind of completes this series of this time. Anyway, after I had gone through so many times thinking, okay, this is the answer, this is the answer, this is the answer, I finally came up with, and I still stand by it. I realize it's been 15 years at least because of just the time my adult child has been in the police department, so I was kind of tracking it, is that the most selfless, heroic, miraculous act that any human being has ever done, we are all capable of. And that the most heinous, cruel act that any human being has done, we are also all capable of doing. Now that may not sound like it's very profound, but it really ties into something that I've always kind of believed, that, when people say, you hear that a neighbor has gone off and killed his whole family, and, we didn't expect that, or when somebody gets accused of something, you could never do that. And I often thought, how do you know he could never do that? You would think, he would never do that. I've been surprised at, some of my actions, both good and bad, in some things that I would think that I would respond in a certain way. But until I am in that moment where my life may be threatened, or somebody else's life that I care about is threatened, I don't know what I would do. And so I just realized that we're interesting humans, the species, that we can be the very, very best of us and the very, very worst of us. And I used to think it was about, and we choose. And sometimes I think, still a choice. One of the things when I was a young parent and trying to teach my children about honesty, and I said to them, you only need to decide once if you're going to be an honest person. If you're going to be an honest person, you just make that choice one time. And then anything that comes up against that, whether you find a $5 bill or a $500 bill or a $5,000 bill or anything, you already know what you're going to do. And so I've just always thought that in that area, that's easy. That was an easy way. And I think that we can predict what we're going to do, but we do not know until that moment when we are truly challenged. So it may not sound that profound, but somehow it just touched a chord within me, because what it did is it took a lot of the judgment away about other people. I can remember when the Susan Smith, she was the mother that drowned her two children, and I just had people friends of mine that were just, she was the most wicked person in the whole world, and she deserved to die. And I can just remember thinking, what torture must go in. What kind of, how far have you lost your way that you could drown your own children? I actually felt sorry for her, because I thought that somebody had gone so far out of the norm that it was just incredible. Anyway, that's my hubby feeding the dogs and calling the cats for their dinner time. And so, anyway, I hope that you kind of gave some thought to the question, even if you didn't answer it or make a video response, but just gave it some thought as to what is it that you've learned in all the time that you've been studying. Thank you for watching. This is Cat, Sweet Cat Magic.